Vishnu-Paadaadi-Keshanta-Stotram, Shloka 25. Adau kalpasya yasmat prabhavati vitatam vishwametad vikalpaihi. Adau kalpasya yasmat prabhavati vitatam vishwam etad vikalpaihi. Kalpante yasya chantah pravishati sakalam sthavaram jangamancha atyantachintya murtes chirataram ajitasyantarikshaswarupe tasmin asmakam antahkaranam atimuda kridatat krodabhage. Padachedaha anvayaha cha kalpasya adau vitatam etat vishwam yasmat vikalpaihi prabhavati kalpante sakalam sthavaram jangamancha yasya antaha cha pravishati tasmin atyanta achintya murtehe ajitasya antarikshaswarupe krodabhage asmakam antahkaranam atimuda chirataram kridatat. In this shloka and in the next shloka, the stomach region is described. Now we'll look at the pratipadarthaha. Kalpasya adau. In the very beginning of creation, that is within time. Yasmat, that from which, means the source, that is Bhagavan as the material cause. From that, vitatam etat vishwam, this expanded form of universe as we see. Vitatam means this expanded and widespread. Etat, this, vishwam, the universe which is manifest. That vikalpaihi prabhavati. Vikalpaihi means with all its varied and different objects and forms. Prabhavati means comes into manifestation or appears. Such a universe with varied objects, what happens to it? Kalpante, at the end of creation, that is at the time of dissolution. Sakalam, all this manifest creation, sthavaram jangamancha, with stationary and the moving living things. Sthavaram is those which are stationary, that which has sthira bhava, sthavaram, and jangamam are the moving living things. All these, the source from which they came, yasya antaha cha pravishati, into that same source into which they all return. That is, the manifest universe merges back into that source from which it came into manifestation. So, yasya antahacha pravishati means that into which they return, tasmin, into that source. And what is that source? Atyanta achintya murtehe. Atyanta means unimaginably, achintya, you cannot think. Murti is that kind of a form. So that source is a form which cannot be perceived. And what is that source? Ajitasya, that is known as Vishnu. Vishnu is known as Ajitasya because he is unconquerable. That cosmic form is unconquerable. And into that Vishnu, this whole manifest form of universe merges. And such a cosmic form of Vishnu's krodabhage, in his stomach region, that is the region around the navel, the lower abdomen, and the whole stomach region, antariksha swarupe, which is in the form of space. That is, the space is conceived as the stomach region of the cosmic form of Lord Vishnu. May such cosmic form of space, asmakam antahkaranam, in our mind, ati muda, very happily, chirataram, forever, for a long time, kridatat, may it revel. That is, may we meditate upon the stomach region of the cosmic form of Lord Vishnu, which is the space. And that should not be forced. We should happily be able to meditate. Now, this word kridatat is a lot lakara form, which is in the sense of ashir vachane. So, meaning to say, it is in the form of a blessing. Now we will look at the meaning as a whole. As I said, this verse and the next verse describe the stomach region of the cosmic form of Lord Vishnu. The universe at the beginning of each kalpa and at the time of dissolution. Now at this point, we'll recall what is kalpa. Kalpa is said to be 4.32 billion years. That is a period of time between creation and dissolution. In other words, it is the length of a single cycle of the cosmos. In other words, a day of Brahma. So, this Kalpa or Mahakalpa is described according to the Puranic tradition here. Now, the source from which this whole universe emerges or is manifest at the beginning of the Kalpa, that is, as is told in the Shruti, Atmanah Akasha Sambhutaha Akashat Vayuhu Vayor Agnihi Agnehe Apaha Abhihi Prithvi. This is how the order of creation is described in the Shruti. That is, from Brahman comes into manifestation the space, then from space Vayu, the air, and then from Vayu comes fire, Agni, and then from fire, water, from water, the earth as we know. So, and this creation comprises of both movable living things and the stationary objects. Such a source is said to be the stomach of the cosmic form of Lord Vishnu. And how is this Vishnu? He is known by the name Ajita, that is a form in which he is not conquerable, the unconquerable form of Vishnu. And then it is said that into this very same source, everything merges back at the end of the Mahakalpa. Such a infinite form, which is similar to space, and that which cannot be conceived by this our limited mind, is the stomach region. In this great significant space stomach region of Lord Vishnu, may our mind and heart dwell, meditate and revel happily forever, is the form of prayer in this shloka. Such a form of meditation is said to be Sattvika Dhyanam. And the first two lines of the shloka, that is, Adau Kalpasya Yasmat Prabhavati Vitatam Vishwametat Vikalpaihi, and then Kalpante Yasya Cha Antah Pravishati Sakalam Sthavaram Jangamancha. These two lines are drawn from the Shruti Vakya. In other words, they are based on the Shruti Vakya, which is Yato va imani bhutani jayante yena jatani jivanti yat pravishanti abhisamvishanti. That is, the source from which this whole universe comes into its manifest form, and the power, the Shakti, which sustains this creation, and then that into which all this, everything emerges, is the same cosmic form of Lord Vishnu. Meaning that all that is here is only Brahman. So this is a vision to be contemplated upon. With this, explanation for this verse is completed. Namaste.